Hello Aquarius, welcome to Higher Source Tarot. This will be your 2020 year ahead prediction for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. So if you have placement in your chart in Aquarius, you are in the right place. Thank you to everyone who subscribed, liked, commented, and shared my videos. If you comment, I will comment back as long as your settings are set in a way that I can do so. Some of you have a privacy setting that doesn't always allow me to. So I do appreciate that, and I notice it, and it's really fun for me. So thanks for that from me. And I'd like to encourage anyone out there in the next couple of days to set their intentions for the year ahead for 2020. Be very clear on what it is that you want to have come into your physical reality. So what things do you want to see show up? It can be, and it's not being greedy. I mean, it can be a relationship. It can be something in your business. It could be health related. It could be a new home or a watch or a car or great, fitness, any of that stuff. Write it down. And then ask yourself, why do I want this? Why do I want this? And you can ask the universe too. Show me the path. But the most important question I think that will raise your vibration is why. Because when you start asking how, that gets overwhelming, and that's fuels self-doubt. That starts to fuel a very limiting set of beliefs. So be cautious with that. But the year ahead is going to be transformative for many, many people, and it could certainly be you if you're open to it. So we will pull a card per month here. And then we'll also, per quarter, I'm going to get out these Ask and It Is Given cards by Esther and Jerry Hicks. So if you are interested in the law of attraction, Abraham Hicks is one of the greatest teachers, I think, that's out there of the law of attraction. So this will give you some more clarity and insight into that, and how, because people talk about manifesting. It's interesting. They talk about that, and then they say, but I don't believe in the law of attraction. Then how do you think these things are manifesting? I don't know where they're getting that from if they don't agree with that. So when you hear that, that's where it's derived from. All right, Ask and It Is Given here, and what is going to go on for Aquarius in 2020 for Aquarius. All right, here we go. We've got January, Page of Wands, February, the Tower, March, the Eight of Cups, and then interesting, April, the Four of Wands here. May, you've got the Page of Cups, 2 pages in a row. June, the Two of Cups. July, the Six of Pentacles. In August, you've got Temperance. And then in September, the Three of Cups, the Hierophant in October, the Wheel of Fortune in November, and then the Five of Swords here in December. Well, I kind of right off the bat, I feel like you have somebody around you that's going to be kind of insecure, and you're just going to have to be careful of that, Aquarius, with not allowing that person to, lower your vibration or make you second guess yourself. You've got an interesting reading overall here, but you start off with the Page of Wands, and I feel like you're going to come into January and have a lot of creativity. You're going to be very well supportive. I feel like some of you have a relationship that's pretty good, and that person is supportive of you, but there's maybe some issues in your family and possibly in your career that are going to need to be worked out. For some of you, it could be the opposite, where a relationship ends up ending in February. So February, March, you're kind of down in the dumps, but by April, things really pick up. So anyway, so you do begin with a nice energy here, even though it's a page. He's kind of one of the more mature pages out there. And I do, again, feel like you start off, you're intelligent, you're creative by nature anyway, and you start off, even though this is fire energy, with a really good idea, I guess is what I'm getting. Now, you're going to have some kind of a foundational shakeup here. I do feel like if you are in a relationship, again, some of you, this could be an ending to a relationship, but I do feel like some of you need some kind of fundamental change in the structure of things, and it may be that you've been doing too much or they've been doing too much and it just hasn't been balanced. But later on in the summer months, there gets to be there will be a very nice sense of balance. So in the beginning here, you've got some work to do in February. And the Tower it's going to be very quick and sudden. So if you're going, this can't be my reading, I'd stay tuned, because oftentimes when there's a Tower moment, we just don't see it coming. And because of that, in March, you're going to exit a situation. And I do wonder for some of you if it's going to be a job change, or it could possibly be, like I said, if it's a breakup, you're going to walk away and you're just not going to look back. So that's possible, but I do feel like the Tower in February and this Eight of Cups are related. They're not independent of one another. So it's going to be probably about an 8-week long cycle where you're going to have to recover a little bit, but boy, are you going to recover, because by April, we call this the 1111 card. It's the marriage card. It's celebratory. And then it goes, I mean, my gosh, you go right into Cups. So if you break something off, I think you're going to meet somebody like right away. And this is kind of an interesting thing. I was listening to an Abraham. It was somebody that was in one of their workshops, and they have a chair, they call it the hot seat. And I've been to Abraham before, and you have somebody that gets up, if you haven't been there, they get up on this stage in this chair and they talk face to face with Abraham. Anyway, this person talked about how they were at a job, they didn't like their job, but they were there for like 10 or 12 years and they were very loyal. And one day out of the blue, they got fired. Even though they didn't like the job, they were like devastated by it. And Abraham asked, well, if a new job would have come along, would you have left? And she said, no, I wouldn't have. I would have stayed there even though I was unhappy, because I was very loyal to these people. And then a new job came along shortly thereafter, and it was much more money. It was a much better work environment, et cetera, et cetera. I feel like for you, Aquarius, that could be on the horizon where you're going to come into something. You're going to have a really abrupt exit, but then something else is going to come in right away, and it's going to be much better. So that's in April. I can gradually change my vibrational frequency. There is no thought that you cannot eventually have, just as there is no place that you cannot eventually reach from wherever you are. But you cannot instantly jump to a thought that has a vibrational frequency very different from the thoughts you are usually thinking. So if you go online, you can find, or if you have any Abraham books, it's in there too, there is an emotional frequency scale that will show you where you are. And if you're in a place of negativity and you want to get up to joy or love, you have to go the steps in between. So for you, for May, you have a manifestation that's going to come in. So if you get into kind of a dull point here, which you are going to, but you're going to come out of it very quickly. It's like almost as quickly as you get this upset, you're going to recover like immediately. And here you go with the Page of Cups here. He has an offer for you. So whatever it is that you have been wanting, if it's a new job, that will come. If it's, the possibility of some kind of a, even like a reconciliation, because this can also be an ex coming back. So if you have a breakup, it's possible that you will make up almost as quickly as you broke up. And they come back, and in June, it's a very balanced. You have June and then July and August where it's very, very balanced. So you'll have a great summer here, Aquarius. You've got this Two of Cups, and this is all about, it's about love, but it's about mutually offering and coming together. So you've got an opportunity that's going to come in here. I feel like it's going to be a little bit of a change in direction for you from where you're standing right now. And surprises can be kind of good. I mean, you are able to create and attract to you, but you can sometimes have it show up in a different way than what you thought it would be. So then you get into July and you've got the Six of Pentacles, and this is definitely about balance. You've got those Libra scales and see how they're completely even. So you go right from the Two of Cups into this Six of Pentacles, and this is going to be a really nice, stable relationship, if that's what it is. If it's a love relationship, I could see you at this point really starting to plan a future with this person. And it's going to be easy. You know, it's going to be like it should be in the beginning of a relationship where things are, you know, if you were taken for granted in the past, this person is going to really respect you. You're, like I said, you're intelligent, you're creative, you're wise, and that person is going to see all of that in you and realize, like, this is not somebody I'm going to find twice. This is somebody really a real catch, and they're going to really go out of their way to make you feel like kind of like you're the only person in the world. Now you go into Temperance, and this is all about going with the flow, and I do feel like you're going to have a really fun August, and like I said, it's just going to be very easy. Go with the flow. This can be the card of the alcoholic, but I don't sense that for you where you're going to have, you know, any issues with them drinking too much or you, or where you uncover and find out somebody has a drinking problem that they weren't, you know, being honest about. It's nothing like that. This is really about, again, just having a nice, easy, flowing relationship. That's what I feel like with those big cups. There's just going to be a lot of love there. Now, we'll do our Abraham card, and then we'll talk about what this Three of Swords could be. All right, so I will reach for the best feeling thought I have access to. Always be reaching for the feeling of relief that comes when you release a more resistant thought and replace it with a more allowing, better feeling thought. The stream of well-being is always flowing through you, and the more you allow it, the better you feel. The more you resist it, the worse you feel. So that's always why we don't, you know, when we don't feel good, it's because we're resisting that source energy that's guiding us. Our source sees things in a different way than we want to see them. So this is, you know, this is definitely a very hurtful energy coming up in September. You get this really nice energy from April all the way through August, and then in September there's a little bit of betrayal that happens. I don't feel like it's in the relationship, because right after this you have the Hierophant and the Wheel of Fortune. But I do think your pride gets hurt a little bit with something. So you've got this person involved here that really thinks the world of you, and there may be some jealous people around you that just don't, they are struggling, they are insecure, and so they're trying to pull you into it, and you may have to cut them out. I do feel like it's going to be like a same-sex friend that you're going to have problems with, and feel really kind of betrayed and lied to and manipulated by them. I just don't think you're going to keep them around. So then you have the Hierophant right after this, and again, this is all about structure and order. And a couple of weeks ago I did an overview of all the cards, and the cards represent the soul. So the Rider-Waite Tarot deck is all about the Fool as the soul and the Fool's journey. So when the Fool meets the Hierophant, the Fool learns about morals here. So whoever betrays you, you look back at that, but you learned something in it. Sometimes some of the most painful experiences can be our best teachers. And for you, I feel like it's a very temporary setback, but this is about change. And I think you are going to be solidifying and protecting this relationship. And it's kind of like, you know, when we are in a commitment, a partnership of a serious nature, you know, it's kind of like how we put a fence around our house, or we put a front door on our house and we lock the door because we don't want just anybody coming in. I think you're going to be protective of your relationship in that way, where you're just not going to let low energy, low interest people around you Then you have the Wheel of Fortune, which is a 10. So this is also the beginning, a conclusion and the beginning of a new cycle. I think this is major for you, Aquarius. This is going to be, a situation where you have a life partner. That's what I'm getting for some of you. You've got a life partner coming in, and it's going to be like a real whirlwind, though. I feel like this year you're going to leave something, begin something, and that's where the whirlwind is like, I can't believe 9 months ago I was doing this other thing. This is just crazy. And now here I am. Some of you might get married by this time, but this is always a blessing. It's like a stroke of luck for you. So the universe, again, is supporting you every step of the way and is guiding you and giving you the inspiration that you need to move forward. I do think, too, your finances are going to be stable, but your health, too, I don't see any indication here that you're going to have any physical setbacks or anything where you need to be cautious about, physically. The only thing I would say is just kind of moderation with processed foods and alcohol and things like that. It's good to, if you're eating things, eat things that come out of the ground, not out of a box, for some of you. So anyway, but with the Wheel of Fortune, I always like to see this card because it's, it's a very positive card to have in any reading, and it really represents that, just kind of a reminder of knowing when to hold on and when to let go of things. So again, sometimes we have to release things. Like, I think what happens is you release something in September, and by November you really know that it was the right thing to let go of. Something more is going to be coming towards you by letting go of that thing. So, it's like I didn't let go of anything without leaving claw marks on it, right? And sometimes we can be like that where we really want to hold on, but go ahead and let go of it, because it'll be let go or be dragged. You're going to find that if you don't release this thing, it's going to be very burdensome for you. So let go, okay? Let go of whatever that is and let good things come in. You're going to be done with the fight here. So this is in December with this 5. It's like this person has victory, but it's almost like they want more. So they keep looking back and wanting to fight while the opponents have just given up, So I do feel like you're going to have in this last quarter something where there's like a battle, like winners and losers kind of thing. I think you're going to be the victorious one, though. I don't feel like it's going to be you. It can be a little bit of a warning, though, just not to be too overly confident, because I do feel like this relationship comes in and people become jealous of you, and it causes some friction, and it also causes something to leave your life. It may even be somebody that was a really good friend to you that you thought would be standing up for you in a wedding, and now you realize there's no way that would happen. You end the year with that 5 of Swords, but I guess I'd say overall with that, it's about change, and it's about not wanting to have conflict and kind of immature energy in your life. So this is your Abraham Hicks card, and it is, when I reverse the thought, I reverse the condition. There is no condition so severe that you cannot reverse it by choosing different thoughts. However, choosing different thoughts requires focus and patience. If you continue to focus as you have been, to think as you have been, and to believe as you have been, then nothing in your experience will change. So if you want your life to change for the better, you have to change, okay? The people around you and the conditions around you will not change with the thoughts that you use to create the situation. Einstein said something along those lines, and you'll hear a lot of teachers in spiritual realms talk about that very same thing. You can't solve a problem with the mind that created it. Okay, so you're going to have to be open to changing your perspective, to changing your approach on some things, and to be willing to let things be moved out of your life so that new things can come in, because new stuff is going to come in for you. So very good outlook for 2020. Again, you're going to have something change very drastically, but then all this new stuff comes in that's just beautiful and harmonious. So thank you again for everybody who subscribes, and thank you for tuning in. I'll be back in a couple days for your January 2020 Aquarius reading. Love you guys.